So basically, how I start is making sure all of these tracks are at a good volume that I can work with them. So when I record from the X32, sometimes these tracks come in like real low. So like for example, let's take the kick track. Sometimes it'll come in like this, like the gain will be real low. I'm not sure why. I think it's a way I can fix it, but for me, I just go in Logic and fix them and make them all look and sound at a good volume to work with. Like this organ track, this can be. Where is my normalized region gain applied? See, and that gives me a better volume. It might be a little high, but we're not really gonna be using oil bottom like that. So it gives me a better volume to work with. So once you get like a good volume, next thing I do is go and do like a rough volume mix, if that makes sense. So getting everything at a decent volume as to how I would want it to sound for the finished mix. So, for example, like I wouldn't have aux louder than main keys. Simple stuff, like making sure it sounds alright. I'm gonna let y'all hear it so we can hear where we are now. I'm gonna just make simple adjustments to make it, sound good.
Come on, anybody know the Lord to be worthy? Anybody know the Lord to be awesome? Anybody know him to be the mighty one? So we come to give you our worship tonight. We come to lift up your name. We come to magnify you. We come to glorify you. Hear the words of
I can hear
Jesus. You, Lord,
the lead
you
singer's a
are
little drowned out.
worthy. No one can worship
Or you
you
can hit
for
X,
me.
get a better beat like this.
For all the things you've done for me.
See, the guy on
No
boss is too loud.
one can worship you for me.
Down a little bit.
Hey, here's my worship, all of my worship.
Still a little bit
Father,
too loud for
receive
him.
our worship, all of our worship. Here is our worship,
Town's a little hot.
all of our worship.
Actually, all of
Father,
it is too
receive
hot.
our worship.
Like I said, I have to
All
make
of
these
our
adjustments.
worship. Lift that up in the room. Said you, Lord.
It'll probably change, but
Hey. And
background.
no
With my first step that I always do, which is making this jump sound a little bit better with panning. So things like the lead vocal, panning wise, I don't touch it. Background vocals, alright, so let's see. The tenor, I always leave in the middle. So let's see. The tenor is Seth. So, is this him? Let me check. Yep, that's him. Leave him in the middle. And the other two will adjust, periodically. But I'm going to try to make it as even as possible. 30 might be a little far, but we'll fix it later. So,
things you've done
this
for
might
me.
not. Okay, so let's see.
No one
Let's just
can
do that.
worship you for me. It's my
That sound a little bit
worship,
better.
all of my worship.
Sound more like lifelike.
Receive my worship.
Okay, so now that we pan those, these room mics, honestly, I'm not really that big of a fan in these recordings because I'm not the best EQer of these. But hey, we're gonna Matter of fact, we're gonna solo these joints so y'all can hear the difference. Oh, the heck? I'm gonna edit this out. Okay. This is what we have from the room mics. It's a lot, but you know. So listen. My bad. Yeah. Make it sound more space lifelike. Keys, left, right, all the way left, all the way right. Organ, yeah. I don't put him all the way left, all the way right because I don't want everything jumbled together. So I just organ bottom, bass, I leave in the middle. Aux, all the way left, all the way right. This track, middle, guitar. I might put it off to the left just a little bit. Bass and kick. Snare, I usually put over to the left. I try to think of it like if I'm playing set. You know, I play set a little bit, so overhead left, overhead right. I'm gonna let y'all hear it. We can turn organ off from this. We can hear the difference. This overhead left. This is the difference. I'm gonna turn it back on. Like it's night and day. Floor time I usually put like that would be all like this. Usually how I do it. This is how I like mine. I ain't no drummer, but this is kind of how I like mine to sound. I'm gonna do like 35. Okay. Alright. Now this talkback, I usually only listen for like if I just wanted to hear our own conversation or something. Not really in the mix. I don't want to delete it though, so she sounds a little bit more, you know.
I will always worship you. Hey, till long as
This is stuff like this where you can barely hear the background singers. I'm gonna have to fix. I'm not really sure why I recorded like that, but yeah. Next, I'm going to group these together. So these background vocals, I'm going to create a track stack. Create track stack. Summon stack. We'll name these background vocals. This is just how I do it. So you can treat every track stack. Well, let me take that back. You can treat every background vocal as the same in this track stack. So if I do an EQ on a track stack, it affects every track in the track stack. If that makes sense. Room mics, I'm gonna group these together too. Track stack. I'm gonna edit this out. Room mics, keys. I'm gonna name this main keys. Organ left, organ right. Well, actually, I'm gonna put the organ bottom in there as well. Summon stack. We'll name this organ, of course. Close that. And this will help it make a little bit more, make it look a little bit more like neat. You know what I'm saying? So it won't be tracks everywhere. Aux Keys. This is more of like an organization thing. Track, guitar, bass. This is especially good for all these drums. No, forgot a step, and it's one of the most important steps. This plugin right here from Waves. Go ahead and get it. It's called NLS channel. Where is it? There we go. Want a mono version here. This adds like some saturation to the entire mix, because sometimes this joint be sounding like real digital and thin. Got one for the pastor. This is the pastor's mic, so we're gonna keep this and name it vocals. So all the vocals are gonna go on number 1. Alright, and we're gonna add some drive to it. He's not talking right now, so you're not gonna see this move, but see, lead mic, we're gonna do the same thing. Option drag. If my laptop would, there we go. Okay. See, it kept my same settings. Main keys, we're gonna do a different one. Instead of NLS channel mono, we're gonna do NLS channel stereo, since the keys is in stereo. Let's see where to go. NLS channel. NLS bus is for the master. NLS channel is for the stereo. I mean, it's for the individual channels. Main keys. We're gonna put this on number 2. We'll name it keys. All right. But also, I'm gonna put saturation on these individual keys tracks that are mono. NLS channel mono, and we're gonna assign them to the same NLS channel as the keys, number 2. Put some of that on there. And we're just gonna copy this over. Keys. There we go. Both of these should be the same thing. Number 2 around here. This drive doesn't have to be perfect. I just like to get it in there. Keys 6. That's cool. Okay. No plug-in here. I'm taking that EQ off right now. So since this is the background vocals track stack, it is in stereo. So the NLS channel in stereo. And this will be assigned to the same channel as I put the pastor and the lead singer. Vocals 1, we're just going to put this on here. Like I did with the keys. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to get the mono version. Let's channel mono. And another trick I do is using a SSL compressor with it. It's an SSL what's it called? SSL compressor. I use this on the master channel because it glues the mix together and it gives me some saturation as well. I put it on the mastering preset. I don't want much of it at all. I just want to see the. That's all I need, more or less, really. It's catching the beats and making everything balanced.
Yeah, here's my worship. All about.
It sounds way fatter now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I want to start with the drums. So we are going to pull this organ up, pull that aux keys, leave it alone, and we're going to go straight to drums, right? So look, there's one plugin I use that does everything for these drums, that I like at least. So we're going to solo this kick so I can let y'all hear the difference. we're gonna go. We're gonna start with this SSL channel in mono. This is the kick by itself, raw. Again, his drums don't sound bad at all, but I think this plugin makes it sound better. I'm gonna go to these presets and I'm gonna click on that first kick drum preset. Listen. Gives me a noise gate. Makes it sound like real punchy. It's compression. Everything in one. Now I do kind of want to get some of that cymbal out of there, so I'm gonna mess with this release. I don't want it to sound too choppy though. Alright, fat. Let it breathe a little bit, but I do want it to sound like just the kick. I'm still hearing too much. Too much cymbal and hi-hat. It's not too bad. See, I don't like it choppy like that. Actually, that's not too bad. Oh wow, we don't need that. Without. It's not perfect, but it's a lot more bleed without this. I forgot to hit the gate button. That's way better. Let it breathe a little bit. Maybe not. Without. With. Add a little bottom in. Alright. Snare. Now I'm real specific about my snares because I be feeling like if that snare sound off in the mix, bro, it's gonna ruin it. Again, snare drum preset. Let me go to an area where he's smacking that drum. Pause. Now I do want some high end. That's better. Yeah. That gate is working so good. This is with. Without. With. This is how fast I be going through the drums. So with my overheads, I like to use the same plugin on both, but make sure that they sound the exact same, because you can't have one side, like you can have the left side sounding different than the right side. So I want to listen. I'm gonna put this same plugin here. SSL channel, mono. There we go. Now I want this same overheads preset on the other side. Now I always like to add some high end for some shimmer, but I also like to take this ratio down because it be. I also like my overheads to breathe. You gotta make sure them cymbals aren't piercing to the ear. This is without. I lied. This is without. You took some of the lows out, like the kick isn't as kick heavy in the overhead mics. Without, with. Now I would like to take this down just a little bit because they did do that high pass filter like real high. Hold on. Take it down to about right here. Add some, keep it some meat in it. Now look, this is a perfect time for this floor time. I'm gonna solo this. And again, I'm gonna go here. And I'm gonna go to the floor time preset. Floor time. Now with this, I like to add some high end. I don't want to add too much low end though. And we're gonna go to this gate. Adjust the release because I don't want to hear too many cymbals. Yeah. Without. With. We'll do the same thing with this rack time. Get that SSL channel. Switch so y'all can hear the right time. Let me see somewhere he was hitting it. Pause. It's an area right here. We'll go back. That's with the SSL. That's without. So like I did with the last two times, I'm gonna tweak it a little bit. I do like some extra high end on my toms, a little bit of low end. Now I need to mess with this gate because I'm already hearing cymbals. See how quick it's getting rid of it? As much as it can, you know. It's not perfect, but it does help a lot. I just need that one hit. Now we got this last rack time, I believe. We're gonna go back right here. We're gonna get that SSL channel again. We're gonna get that rack time preset. Don't take me all the way back. Give me something right here. Someone had got some artifacts in this jump. But still, I'm gonna do this. I still want to mess with this release so I don't got all that extra. It's closing it real fast, exactly what I need. I don't want the whole sound of the drum set in the ragtime track. Yep. Okay. So just from the SSL channel, let's see what we got. Gonna solo all these drums. Actually, I don't need to solo all these. Actually, yes, I do. I lied. Right. That's night and day. That's night and day. Come on. SSL is a magician. Now, if we look at this compressor, it's showing us how we're gonna turn these drums down anyway. That's a little bit more compression than I like, but you know, it'll work for right. The drums sound good. Now look, this is one of my other tricks. Now I'm gonna send these toms to a bus. So when you open this bus, I'm gonna do it again. We're gonna send it to bus 1. We're gonna hit option and hit this to put it at unity gain. And then as you see, this aux track has popped up. And we're gonna name this toms. Now, like I said about this NLS channel, I like to put NLS on literally everything. So we're gonna put that even on the toms aux track. Put it on drums so that can get some saturation too. And we're gonna go to the other toms. I'm gonna select both of these actually and send those to bus 1 as well. And then I'm going to open up my second favorite Waves plugin, which is CLA drums. But we're gonna solo these toms so y'all can hear the difference. Rack, floor tom. Alright. This is without. I just want to hear the toms. And we're gonna change this to tom. We're gonna turn it on first. Boom. I don't want no reverb. We can do that by hand later. I'm gonna do a little bit of a gate on these. A soft gate, because I already put. I don't want them sounding too choppy. I want to push the compression. I want some treble. I don't want any sub. Turn that sub off. I want some lower for the meat. I'm gonna go back in later and get that cymbal sound out of there. But for the sake of time, this is where I can control the volume of that CLA drums. This is without CLA drums. This is with. Yep. So that's my rough mix of the drums. Actually, you know what? No. I'm actually gonna apply that reverb right now. Kick drum, no reverb. For my mixes, I don't do reverb for the kick drum. Snare, definitely. We are going to send this to. We're gonna pick an open one. So bus 4. And for right now, I'm gonna do it at Unity Gain. As you can see, this popped up again. So we're gonna name this drum verb. Alright, let's see. Now I like to use I go with Space Designer. So I'm gonna go into, let's see, reverb. I'm gonna go into Space Designer, stereo. And I'm gonna go for another preset again. And I use the same preset for most of my mixes, which is going to be this drum plate. I turn it wet all the way up. Right. And actually, like I said, I can't be a hypocrite. Put this and now less on the reverb too. You will understand later, I promise. Alright. So we're just gonna listen to the snare. Like I said, I turned the reverb off on the CLA drums. Yeah, so we can do it on our own. So this is the snare with the reverb. If he's gonna hit it. Way too loud. So we gonna bring it in. Actually, I would like to keep it at right here, but I'm gonna adjust it here. So I'm gonna start here. I actually want some more snare. But I also want to put an EQ on this reverb track so I can get out some of that mud of the reverb itself. I take highs and lows down. And I like to go in here. I'll do this when we put the reverb on other things. For my overheads, I use very little reverb. But I do use it because it does make a difference. We're going to just use a little bit. Floor tom, rack. I'm going to send these to the same bus, which is bus 4, drum verb. And this will tell us, let's see. Yep. go in here and see if I can get some of the moneyness out of this reverb track. I lied. No, I didn't. Turn these off so I can hear just the reverb. All that boominess, I don't need that. I'm gonna just take this down just a little bit. I want the reverb as clean as possible. Drums sound good. Something ain't right about this kick yet. I like the way the drums sound. What is he saying? Yeah. Now, for the drums bus, I have this NLS channel. Let me see. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take all of these drums and I'm going to send them to the drums track stack we created. So instead of stereo out, we're going to send this to drums right here. So now it should come through here. So if I mute it, I should have no drums. Boom, nothing. And now I can turn the drums down as a whole. And if I need to adjust them, I can just still go in here and adjust what I need. But I also like having control over the entire drum set. And now we're getting some saturation on the entire drum set. I do kind of want a little bit more reverb on those toms. At least I think I do. Maybe I don't. I'm gonna leave it. Phil, shut up. Alright. So I'm gonna get a EQ. I lied. I'm not gonna start with EQ. I'm gonna start with the compressor. Because I want to tame the entire drum set. I'm gonna just get a regular stock Logic compressor. It'll make the drums more punchy and keep them at a good level. So I'm gonna go to where is it? My drum is. There it is. Keep this off, but I don't want a bunch of compression. Just something simple. EQ, I want a little bit of low end. A little bit of high end. Alright. I feel like I'm missing something, but for right now, I'm gonna let them be. So now I'm gonna move to these room mics. These don't take much at all. I'm gonna just get these out the way. Channel EQ. I lied. We're gonna go here first. Get that channel EQ, because I don't want to run a bunch of extra plugins. That's the whole point of me doing these track stacks. No plugin. We're gonna go here. I want to send these two room mics. I want to send these here to this room mic track stack bus. So where is it? There it is, bus 3. So I'm gonna put these room mics at a regular at 0 so I can control everything from here. This is the sound of like the whole sanctuary of somebody sitting in the audience. What we're capturing. have one for room. Floor tom, ringing, natural snare. Now, actually, I know who might have one. I told y'all, Old Faithful. SSL channel, stereo. Let's see if they have one. I can do it myself, but I want to see if they have something first. Yep, there it is. They got some of everything. Yep, they boosted the highs. They have a gate. I'm not really sure why. Doesn't really matter because we're barely going to use these room mics. I'm keeping them real low. Just to give us a sense of realness.
All of our worship.
So let's go to the stage. Now Chris's bass automatically sounds good to me. So I don't have to do much. Look at the tone. That's pure tone. So I like to put something simple on here to make sure he's consistent. Where is it? E-bass. Or do I like live bass? I also don't want to ruin the tone of the bass. Actually, come on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to my other Old Faithful. I'm gonna just put a CLA 2-way on Chris. Because this compressor does something for everything. See how it kept its tone and keeps him steady? I don't want him I want it as natural as possible. Yep. Now I want to try something. I like hearing like the sound of the strings, but I gotta find it. It's in here somewhere. Hear that? It's around here somewhere. This looks crazy, but it'll sound good in the midst of the mix. Raw bass. Everything on it. Bass and drums. Let me see. See how I'm hearing things now that I'm hearing it. A little too much compression on the drum set. Let them breathe a little bit. Alright. We're not going to mess with the organ right now. We are going to go to main keys. This is usually how I do it. Excuse me. Alright. Main keys. Everyone wants to soak this. Listen to this man bass, bro. I told you that EQ, bro. Now we're gonna do the same thing here. We'll send these to the main keys. So we can control the main keys volume with just this. So we're gonna move these to the same volume and control it from right here. Okay. So first, we are going to use this. need much because it's already has things on it from the actual keyboard. I don't want much compression at all. Yeah. Then we're gonna go to my EQ. I'm always do a high pass filter to get rid of stuff that we don't need. So we don't need any of that. Add some brightness. Now, I do like to reduce some of the mids. When I'm doing big projects like this, where we got guitar, organ, full singers, aux, I do like to reduce some of the mids to make room because all of the singers, guitar, everything's going to be in this area. Just a little bit, y'all. Without EQ, with the EQ. Now I'm going to go get one of my other OGs called Vitamin. Yo, Lawrence can play, bro. Now we're going this. Okay, so this bottom area right here is the stereo spread. So I want to spread this just a little bit because these are the two that I'm going to be increasing. This makes the keys cut through the mix. I don't want too much though. Without vitamin, with vitamin. See it has like its own sound now. And even though let me see. Those keys sound good. Now I'm getting the saturation. I do want, let me see, some more saturation on this. But I also want to turn it down the same amount that I turned it up. So now it's equal, but I'm getting some more saturation. Okay? Without the plugins. With them. Sound brighter, have more presence. Now let's listen to this. I'm gonna add that bass in here. One of my other favorite instruments, this organ. So like I've been doing, we are going to send these to this organ track. It says it's bus 9. It might already be in there. Is that bus 9? I don't know. Bus 9 organ. I guess it's already in there. So the organ can be tricky. The organ can be tricky because the organ is so aggressive sounding. And we have aggressive organists. So we need to make sure that it's not overbearing. Channel EQ. Let's start with the compressor on this organ track. And like I said, I'm going with the OG. I want the stereo version of the CLA2A. Stereo. You hear all that? Sounds like a lot. So let me get some control over this organ. So it's not right. That's why. Excuse me. So I forgot to move these organ tracks to a good volume. So let's go back. Give me a good input volume. Give me something to work with. There we go. I don't want much, just enough. Now for this, I'm going to use this high pass filter with this EQ. Now, if I was mixing this organ with like straight organ drums, you know, a two-piece, I wouldn't be so drastic with this high pass filter. But since, you know, I have a bass player, you know, we don't really need it. Plus we got this. If I really needed it, I don't really need it. This is without the EQ. Hear that low end, and plus it's catching that bass, the bass player as well through the organ line. And since he is so drastic, the organ is where I really do it in with this. Take some of the mids out. We'll adjust this later. It's still there, but like I'm tucking it behind. We don't want the organ and the keyboard to clash. We want to sound like they're working together. Well, if I'm listening to these two together, basically, I prefer to have the keys in front of the organ, so the organ behind the keys. So that's why I took the mids out in the first place. Thank you. Watch. Like it's more present. I want it present, but I don't want it overbearing. It just kind of puts it down.
Worship you. Worship you.
Now come on and lift up your voice if you came to worship Him. If you come to worship the Lord. If you come to worship the Lord.
You gotta take care of this.
Yeah.
Something with these drums. Like this is real life issues that I deal with. Like something's going on with the drums, but I'm gonna figure it out in a second. I'm gonna just take care of some other stuff first.
Worship you. 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 Worship you.
You are Jesus.
Worship you.
You are Jesus.
Worship you.
We worship you.
Worship you.
Worship you.
Worship you.
That's who you are.
Who you are.
Who you are.
Who you are.
Who you are. Who you are. A good, good Father. That's who you are. A good, good Father.
Matter of fact, I haven't got some drums.
I worship you. Worship you.
Multitrack be crazy, yo.
Worship you. Worship you. This is what I'll be doing.
Pretty sure it's in the time somewhere. So I'm gonna solo these. There it is. And it's coming from all 3 times. So I'm gonna have to go back into this SSL channel. And okay. Let me go to an area where this floor time is prevalent. Yeah, this kind of helps it. I'm gonna turn that release down a little bit to get some of them cymbals out. Cause I've got to get rid of this issue. Let me go back to this area so I can make sure I'm hearing that. I still don't want that cymbal hitting there. Let me see. I still don't want that cymbal hit. Let me go right here. Maybe if I ease up on that, that helps a little bit. Let me go to this rack time, because I also don't want all that cymbal noise with that rack time either. Yeah, we gotta get rid of that. Release. See, I don't want to hear no snares. It's just, that's all I need. Yeah, that helps. Let me go here. I don't need to hear all that extra. Turn that threshold up. Make sure I hear this hit. That's all I need for real. Cause, see, I don't need all that. I don't want to hear a bunch of. Oh, that's coming from the. You see that? Go back. See, I'm still getting snare hits really. That's not a tom. That's a snare. SSL channel. That threshold is all the way up, like. See, I don't want to hear that snare though. Let me try it now.
I will always sit and worship you. Yeah, as long as I'm breathing. Hey, hey, hey.
even though I have this EQ on, I also like to use the stock vintage EQ, vintage field EQ, a little warmer, and I like to get a little bit of a boost in the highs. Low keys is now. I will. I want to send these keys to a reverb bus, so I'm gonna do unity gain for the main keys. That applies for both keys left and keys right. But I want to send the organ to the same one, which is gonna be, I think it was 5. What's it 5? Yeah, it was 5. I'm gonna do this solo this, and I want to solo the keys. And now we have created a new bus, a new scene, full screen, entire screen. So now I want to call this keys verb, but this applies for both the organ and the keyboard. Oh shoot. Leave that right there. Copy this EQ. It should apply the same. And this space designer, but I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change the preset to piano warmth, which is my go-to. Where is it? I gotta find it. Small concert hall. Where is it? Is it in? It might be in small spaces. Rooms. Piano warmth. Where is it? I'm looking for it. Pause. No. Medium spaces. Rooms. There it is. Turn it to wet. Turn the wet all the way up. I just want a little bit. I hear more on the organ, so I'm gonna turn it down. Now I want it real subtle though. Too much reverb can make it messy. Just a little bit. That's all I'm gonna do for the keys and organ right now. Let me see. This is the track. So for this track, I don't do much at all. As long as I got this NLS channel on, the track, in my opinion, kind of glues everything together. So for me, I like to solo this track just because I like seeing where the lows fall on the EQ. Now I just want to get rid of these lows, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna do for the track. So listen to how I make this. It makes it sound super clear. It makes it sound so new, like it's night day. Track. Now let me see if I can hear my boy on guitar. So whatever I'm getting here is straight from I don't know if he had any pedals or anything, but this is what I'm getting. So what I like to do for the guitar, it's not much. Guitar. I usually do like this preset. I start with the preset clean up guitar and see how I like it. Actually, this time I may just do this EQ by hand. Channel EQ. So let me get a spot where he playing for real. So let me get rid of this. I don't want that. I'm gonna boost him a little bit right here. Again, this is the same area I boosted the keys in the organ, so I gotta be real careful. I don't do too much. Now just a little bit. Now some people may disagree with getting rid of the mids, but my mixes sound better than most people, so hey. In my opinion, at least. Channel EQ and a less channel. Let me see. Guitar. I like to get what is it? And actually, let me tell you what I do. Now for this, I use the CLA guitars. You hear that? Yo. Night and day. Now I don't know whether I want a clean sound or a crunch sound. Right now, I'm gonna go with crunch a little bit. Pitch, I don't want no pitch. Treble, I do want a bit of top on there. I do want to compress. Do my own reverb. I do want their delay. I might be good on this biz. Yeah, I'm good on that. That's too much. I might keep it on this crunch. I kind of like the way that sounds. I had so much trouble. But I also want to do a sample delay to make him sound wider. Pause. 75 on the left. You hear that? With it? Hold on. Without it? With it? Just like the rest. I'm gonna send this sweet reverb. Because I believe I use guitars with reverb. I did. Samba. But I'm gonna change this to guitar. The same EQ. I'm gonna change the space designer preset to I believe it's called Midnight Hall. I think it's Midnight Hall. Went all the way up. Just a little bit. I don't want to solo this. You know what? It might be alright for right now. Because I don't really go super in depth with this. is Aux Keys, which was me on Aux. So let me go to an area where I was playing for real. Let me open X first, and I'm gonna put these both at the same volume. That one's just okay. Aux Keys should be on the Keys channel, and while we're here, we're gonna send this to the Keys reverb, but we're gonna make it real low for right now. We're gonna turn it off. Channel E. Oh no, wrong one. We need this in stereo. There we go. I need this NLS channel on the actual. Yeah. Alright. Channel EQ. Before that EQ, I'm gonna do a very simple compressor. Because I was wilding at some points, I ain't gonna lie. Off. Just give me a little bit of control to keep me balanced. I don't really do much for this. NLS channel compressor, channel EQ. I think that's it actually. I may do a little bit of. I might use a sample delay and see how I feel about it, but delay it to the right instead of the left. Make it sound bigger. And I do want to add a little bit of in here. Give me some more presence. Alright. Stuff like that is why I need to compress it. What I was Now, the more reverb is, the more that I want that instrument pushed back into the mix. Which is how I think of it, at least. I can be loud since we have a guitar. Actually, I forgot to take some of my mids out as well. I don't want to be clashing with organ and keys. See how I can still hear it, but I folded it behind everything else. Alright, so now we can listen to a part of the song and see how everything sounds so far. Guitar can come down. We're probably going to rebalance this at the end. Because once I get my singers, okay, so that sounds pretty solid right now. So I'm going to go to Vaughn, who was leading the song. So Vaughn is like
all
super
of my
dynamic and like
Father, receive our
you can go 1 to
worship.
100 in real quick.
Said all of my. Come on.
usually start
Said
this.
you, Lord, you are worthy.
Get some of that low end out of there.
Hey,
Actually,
and
yeah.
no
Everything
one
under 100,
can worship
I
you
don't
for me.
need, whether it's some woman or
Yes,
a man
Lord, for
Get some of that
all
unneeded stuff out of
the.
Now I'm gonna do a sweep EQ to get some of that extra muddiness or stuff I don't like out of there. Since it's being recorded in the church, you know, who knows what's in there.
The things you done. Said no one can worship you for me. Hey, here's my worship. Said all of my.
Yeah, that's gotta go.
Father, receive our worship.
And I think his
Said
mic
all
was
of
acting up that day, so
my.
that's not the laptop. That's
Said we freely give it, Lord. Said all of our.
give me this band.
Come on, somebody jump in the river. Said all of my. Come on, come on. Said receive our worship. Said all of my. Father, receive our worship. Said all of
So
my.
this is like a little cleanup EQ. I don't do too much because I'm not trying to
Here
get this to sound
it
like
is, Lord.
studio quality, but I
Said
do want it to sound
all of
clean.
my. Father, receive our worship.
Now, I meant
Said
to
all
get
of
that
my.
CLA before this. Now, like
Yeah.
I said, Vaughn is
And
real
I
dynamic.
will
From the 1 to
not
the
be
so I need
silent.
something under control.
I will always worship you.
I only want like 4 to 5
As
dBs,
long as I am breathing. Yes, Lord. I
yes, Lord.
will always
that's too
worship you. Come on, help me sing that in. I will not be. Said I will always.
See, 7
I
dB
will
is too much
always
for me,
worship you.
in my opinion.
Come on, one more time, break the music. And I will
I'll leave
not
a
be.
marker 5 dB.
Said I will always,
Just give
I will always, said worship you.
Put on that EQ.
Yeah, as long as I'm breathing. Hey, 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 hey.
See?
Said I will always, I will always, said worship you.
Like enhancing what I want.
One more time, and I will.
Clarity.
I'll shout it out. I'll lift my voice up. I'll bless your name, for you're worthy of it. For you're worthy of it. As long as I'm breathing, I vow to you, Lord. I'll be doing this. I'll be doing this. I'll be doing.
So since we're in a church, I'm still hearing instruments in the background. You know, church sound. So clarity VX. Now I'm gonna use this real subtle because this junk can try to mess up the actual original signal. In my opinion, I like to use it. I'm gonna do it right after this NLS channel. No, NLS channel first. I don't know why I did that. First, there we go. And this should get rid of some of that background noise.
Said to worship you. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Said we worship you. Worship you.
No clarity.
Said we worship you. Said we worship you. Through the good and bad. We worship you. Whether happy or sad.
Yeah, he go too hard.
We worship you. I'll lift my voice. And I'll worship you. No matter what it looks like. I'll worship you. No matter what it feels like. I'll worship you. I'll worship you. I'll worship you.
And that's it.
Worship you.
At least.
Worship you. Through hell and high water. I'll worship you.
Now, once he gets in the mix with the music, I may make some more changes. But now I like to send these vocals to this is going to be reverb. And this one is going to be delay. So we're gonna name this vocal verb, vocal delay. So we're gonna pull up that NLS channel, which is gonna be under the vocals. Vocals, put it up there. Put it over here as well. Vocal verb. The EQ. And we're gonna use a real short one, like let me see. Default preset. It's gonna be plate reverbs, golden vocals. Turn the wet all the way up. Pause.
This is my posture. I worship you. This is my posture. Now come on and lift up your voice if you came to worship him. If you come to worship the Lord.
That was no reverb.
If you come to worship the Lord. Yeah.
So now we're gonna go to my favorite delay plugin, which is that Waves H delay, I believe. Yep. I'm gonna get me a simple slapback delay. Basic stereo. Where is it? Basic stereo, lo-fi slap. There we go. See what this sounds like.
Hey.
Come on.
Worship you. That's who you are. Who
I like
you
the delay
are.
because it kind of sounds like the singer is in like a stadium. Makes it sound more live to me.
Who you are. Who you are. A good father. That's who you are.
I don't want to use
A
too
good
much,
father. That's who you are.
So yeah.
So I worship you. Worship you. Worship you. Worship you. This is what I'll be doing.
I'm gonna turn off
I'll worship you.
and the delay at the same time.
Worship you.
This is what the
Yeah. I will worship. I will worship.
Now, I could use some more. I'm being real extra with that today, but
I will worship.
see, you hear that's the clarity VS. It needs to come down.
Be lifted
So this is without
higher,
anything. That's dry vocal.
higher.
This is the mixed vocal.
Be lifted higher.
I feel like it needs to be.
Is that
brighter.
anybody's point tonight? Jesus, you be lifted higher.
See if this can help.
Higher. Be lifted higher. Come on, come on, come on.
There we go. Ask
Jesus, you be lifted.
Without
Sit higher.
nothing.
Sit higher. Oh, Jesus.
This is where his mic was going out.
Sit higher. Higher. Yeah, Jesus. City.
Okay, so that's our rough mix for the lead vocal. So here are the background vocals. This is what can get a little tricky and what sometimes trips me up because I like to have the background vocals in the mix, but I also don't want them like getting in front of the main vocal or clashing with the music. So I usually go one by one. So all of these are going to be compressed individually. So actually, I don't want to use that. I want to use the CLA 2-way compressor. Let me figure out which vocal this is.
The things you
Take care of on later.
All of my
So this is Brooklyn.
worship. Receive my worship. All
Now I really want to send all of these to the vocals bus. Excuse me, the background vocals bus. I'm not really sure. Here it is. Yep. So
of my worship. Here's my worship. All of my worship. Receive my worship. All of my worship. You, Lord, you are worthy.
I still want
No one can worship you for me. All the things you've done for me. No one can worship you for me.
I don't want to do it too much either.
Here's my worship, all of my worship. Receive my worship, all of my worship. Here's my worship, all of my worship. Receive my worship.
So this will be the same thing for all three vocalists. Or four vocalists. I forgot who the fourth person was.
All of my worship.
This one's not being used right now.
Here's my worship. All of my worship. Receive my worship. All of my worship. Here's my worship.
Got that compressor, and I also, instead of putting a channel EQ on every individual background vocals channel, since I'm just doing a high pass filter, I'm going to use it on the main channel.
Worship. All of my worship. Receive my worship.
Now I could move it all the way up here, but since Seth is singing, who's a tenor, who's a lower voice, I don't want to cut off the bass of his voice. Listen.
All of my worship. Hey!
Okay, let's do it again.
All the things you've done for me.
Now I'm doing the sweep for the entire background vocals, for all three or four vocalists at the same time, since they're all in the same room. Because personally, I don't believe it, will make a difference. It's probably so against the textbook, but hey, who's gonna stop me?
No one can worship you for me. Here's my worship, all of my worship. Receive my worship, all of my worship. Here's my worship, all of my worship. Receive my worship, all of my worship. Here's my worship, all of my worship. Receive my worship.
Now, please don't overdo it with this, because it can damage the file. But since this is such a crazy atmosphere, we got keys in the background, organ, guitar, drums, singing, people in the audience. I just try to get as much as I can.
all of my worship.
I can go to
Here's
top.
my worship.
Okay. So that's for all of these vocalists. What else do I usually do? Now before that, I'm going to compress them as a whole. So we are going to go back to that, my go-to CLA2A.
All of my worship.
Because compressing them individually gets control of them individually, but compressing them together glues them together to make them sound like background vocalists instead of just singing individually, if that makes sense. It makes them sound like 3 in 1.
Receive my worship, all of my worship. Hey!
Now give me back. Now what I usually do, since it's so hard, I don't want it working this compressor too hard. So what I'll do is duplicate this compressor, or I'll just use a different one. But for today, I'm going to duplicate it and split the work for both compressors, if that makes sense.
All of my worship. You, Lord, you are worthy. And no one can worship you for me.
Now for one, these vocals are probably
For
totally
all the
off. So let me balance this.
no one can worship you for me.
That's a piece of y'all's ears, my bad.
Here's my worship, all of my worship. Receive my worship, all of my worship. My worship, all of my worship. Receive my worship.
This is me working fast because we've been here for a while. I ain't gonna lie. This ain't textbook, but this is what gets the work done for the most of the time. So we got this channel EQ. First, we have this NLS channel.
All of my worship.
All right. We got this channel EQ. Now, what's gonna look even crazier is what I do to make sure that they don't blend in with, that they don't overpower
Worship you for me.
the lead vocalist and blend in with the music. Again, this is not textbook, but I take some of these mids out to make them sound like they're behind the lead vocalist, if that makes sense. You hear how they're not as
Here's
aggressive?
my worship, all of my worship.
So in your face.
Receive my worship,
And again, I'm probably
all
changing
of
this
my
later.
worship.
Just rough mixing right now. And we are going to go to my CLA vocals. Actually, I lied. We are going to take care of that CLA and X again and get some of that background noise out of there. Whereas I'm working fast, excuse me. Oh wait, I lied. This the wrong. Oh man, it's the wrong plugin. Dang. We'll do a video on that one later, but it's definitely not this plugin. It is called Clarity VX Stereo. I'm gonna get some rid of that back. Get rid of some of that back.
Here's my worship, all of my worship. Receive my worship,
And it looks like just right
all
now,
of my worship.
just Seth and Brooklyn are singing.
You, Lord, you are worthy.
You can see her.
And no one can worship you for me. all the things you've done.
Now, do you hear all that stuff I'm getting rid of with these two EQs? Like, listen. Let me go back.
See my work, I am free.
Clean it up a little bit.
I will.
Now, that is not my computer frying. That is the mics from that service. Go back here.
For all the things you've done for me.
What we're going to do.
No one can worship you for me.
We are going to go back to my fresh air plugin.
It's my worship.
These.
All of my worship.
Actually,
Receive my worship. All of my worship. My worship. All of my worship. Receive my worship. All of my worship.
Again, we're going to send these to the vocal delay. We're going to send these to the vocal verb. And we're going to adjust till it sounds right.
Receive my worship. All of my worship. Here's my worship. All of my worship. Receive my worship.
Said all of mine. Come on, come on, come on. Said you, Lord.
Now I'm going to adjust the volume to these to make it sound like I want it to. Oh, wow. It started over.
Father, receive our worship. Said all of mine. Said we freely give it, Lord. Said all of ours. Come on, somebody jump in the river. Said all of mine. Come on, come on. Said receive our worship. Said all of mine. Father, receive our
Maybe that is my computer frying.
worship. Said all of mine. Here it is, Lord. Said all of mine. Father, receive our worship.
Now, I do have one this is a long plugin chain, I know. But I do have one last plugin I like to use, CLA Vocals, that will make these vocals sound almost studio quality to me. So, let me see.
All of my worship.
Oh, my computer tripping.
Make us whole.
Okay, so maybe I
Make
lied.
us whole. Make us whole.
Because
Make us whole.
using this Clarity VX on every one of these tracks does help, but that jump locked my CPU up. So we're just going to use it on the background vocals bus. Let me see.
Be made whole.
That's without it. That's with it. It's using real light because it's real
Be
CPU.
made whole. Be made whole. Be
Yeah,
made
so
whole.
that's
Be
literally all
made
I
whole.
do, pretty much.
Be made whole.
I got this second EQ to take some of these.
Be made whole. Be made whole.
I don't want to use too much because I don't want to take away from the sound of their voices, but I also don't want them to be clashing, so okay.
Thou the Lord.
So for one, I actually have this jump too long, so
Our worship. Father, receive our worship. All of our worship. Here is our worship. All of our worship. Father, receive our worship. Yeah. All of our worship. Lift that up in the room. Said you, Lord. Yeah. Hey. And no one can worship you for me. Just think about it. For all the
things you've done for me.
yes, Lord, said no one can worship you for me. Yeah, here's my worship. Said all of my.
Usually what I do is I want to use a limiter on the master bus to give me some more volume. So I usually just go for this waves limiter, L2, use the stereo version. And I usually just pull this threshold down until I get some extra volume. But I need to rebalance these tracks because Logic doesn't give you a lot of headroom. So I'm going to do that now. Make it real quick. I'm going to edit this out.
Father Rick.
So basically what I'm going to do is reset these tracks. In simple terms, so these faders aren't as high. So instead of me having the faders high and feeding this main volume to where it was, like past here, I can have the track kind of quiet, but increase the volume of the entire mix as a whole. So it's playing right now. I'm gonna start with maybe the lead vocal.
Said all of my. Shout it out! I'll lift my voice. I'll bless your name. For you're worthy of it. For you're worthy of it. As long as I'm breathing, I bow to you, Lord. I'll be doing this. I'll be doing this. I'll be doing this. Said to worship you. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Said we worship you. Worship you. Worship you. Said we worship you. Said we worship you. Through the good and bad. We worship you. And I worship you. I lift my voice. And I worship you. No matter what it looks like. I worship you.